Hello learners. We were studying about the personal administration. In the last lecture, we have started about the features of the personal administration in India. I am Professor Nafis Ahmed Ansari from Department of Political Science, Aligarh Muslim University. As we have already covered the historical perspective and salient features of the personal administration in India, in this lecture we will discuss various administrative reports and highlights the shortcomings of the personal system. While emphasizing the need for the new personal system, the Administrative Reform Commission's ARC in 1968 dealt with the various aspects of the personal system in the central government and highlighted its shortcomings. We have seen in the previous lecture that most of the thing that we carried out after 1950 that was mostly based on the British legacy. So it was later on it was felt that there is a need of having a reforms in the administrative systems, and for that purpose a first administrative reforms commission was constituted in 1960. This first of these shortcomings related to the professionalism adequacy of the system to face the great diversification of the functions, which calls for a variety of skills and higher administration. The second diagnosis made by the ARC was the tenure system, which brings non-professional and non-committed birds of page, temporarily hinders the development of new employees' knowledge. Second, this was the second shortcomings or diagnosis has been found by the ARC. Third, it is said that it established that the growing technological sophistication in the administration has inevitably led to the loss of its validity in several fields and is declining in importance for journalism, which has been the cornerstones of Indian personal system. So in the last lecture I said that there is two groups which is there, a journalist and the specialist. So here what they have found that this technology is something which is related to the functioning of the journalism concept. The fourth that they have found that the experts are not expected to involve themselves directly in policy formulations or managerial decisions. Hence, the entire process is clumsy, annoying, and time consuming. Fifth, because it does not provide for recognition of merit, adequate opportunity for promotion, and continuous incentive for good performance. The remuneration pattern of the different services is unreasonable. The sixth and the last major point that has been identified by the ARC was the adherence to seniority has proved damaging to quality. The present personal system does not make rational and optimal utilization of human resources because of these six important factors that has been identified by the ARC in 1968. Another conference on personal administration was hosted by the Indian Institute of Public Administration 1968, which declared that the existing personal system did not meet the requirements of desirable personal system. The current structure relied too much on the cadres rather than being achievement oriented, or elite is more status oriented. Next, we will discuss the Public Service and Social Responsibility seminar organized by Indian Institute of Advanced Studies in Shimla in October 1973. This seminar also highlighted various inadequacies and the weakness of the public services system in India, which were identified and debated. They said that firstly, this seminar identified that bureaucracy has acquired a class character. Its instrumental role is often subordinate in operation, and it emerges as an end in itself. Secondly, they said that it has shown the gap between the administration and citizen is widening. It is crucial that the bureaucracy has been shown somewhat insensitivity to the needs of the latter and has lost credibility. There is not good reputations or good respect in the society to these bureaucrats. Thirdly, they said that public service are immobilized by their size. Today, bureaucracy has become a slow-moving and full, dull-witted, very slow-moving and dull-witted giant. Fourthly, there are contradictions and incompatibility at different levels of the bureaucracy. Frequent confrontations between these levels paralyze the entire machine. Next, the public service has become a prisoner of their own procedures and precedents. This led to inactions rationalized in the various ways. So what we find that these seminars and these reports has shown number of the shortcomings that is there in the administrative system, in the bureaucratic system that we have started after independence, and that has more refractions towards the British legacy. Another is that public service are becoming increasingly inadequate in taking up new tasks and challenges. Even in the maintenance of law and order, bureaucracy often finds its ineffectiveness. In the economic field, its performance has generally been poor. It has rarely been able to take a dynamic view of emerging problems. It tries to cure today's ill with yesterday's remedies, but these often do not work. Next is the generalist tradition is still prevailing. The need of the day is the specialization. Dominance of the generalist is not good in the administration. As there is a change of the environment in the area of technology, socio-economic development, and a new initiative, so it has been necessary to look towards the specialization. Little attention appears to be given to evolving a structure for specialized roles to meet the challenges of the emerging constellations of the social needs. Lastly, the public services have not given a convincing account of themselves in the general area of public policy. The act they have shown is not very effective in the formulation of the policy. They act by hinges and institutions rather than trained insights. Dysfunctions of the public personnel administration is concerned. The dysfunctions of public personnel administration in India has been a persistent issue for many years. The country's bureaucratic system is known for its inefficiencies, corruptions, and lack of accountability. This has led to multitudes of problems in the functioning of public services, ranging from delayed projects to inadequate delivery of essential services. One of the major reasons for this dysfunction is the politicization of the public sector. Many government officials are appointed on the basis of their political affiliations rather than their qualification or merit. This result is a workforce that is not equipped with necessary skill and knowledge, is going to damage the system, going to damage the economic development. It is a very dangerous steps that is going on. This result is a workforce that not equipped with necessary skills and knowledge to effectively carry out these duties. Moreover, political interference often hinders decision making and creates a culture of favoritism and nepotism. So more and more political interference is going on, and that is being a very bad features that is been developing in this sector. Another factor that contributing to the dysfunction of the public personnel is the lack of proper training and development opportunities. Many government employees do not receive adequate training, which leads to the lack of understanding of their roles and responsibilities. This, coupled with a rigid and outdated bureaucratic structure, hinders the efficiency and effectiveness of the public sector. We have seen that the British government constituted a committee, Fulton Committee in 1968. They have focused the need of the training. They have focused the importance of the training and how it contributes to the overall development of the administration. Furthermore, there is a lack of accountability and consequences for underperforming employees. The fear of punishment or termination for the incompetence is almost not existent, leading to lack of motivation and dedications among the public personnel. When these public personnel become a permanent in their services, they think that they are completely safe and no action is going to initiated against them. Their performance is not reflected with their activities. They are only using the offices as their luxury homes, and their contributions coming down gradually. The issues of corruption also plays a significant role in the dysfunctions of the public personnel in India. Bribery and embezzlement of funds are rampant in the public sector, resulting in a loss of resources and hindering the proper functioning of the government services. This affects the delivery of essential services and erodes public trust in the government. The lack of transparency and accountability in the system only experts the problems, making it difficult to identify and address corrupt practices. Additionally, the hierarchical and the bureaucratic structure of Indian public sector creates a culture of red tapeism and delay. Decision-making process are slow and often requires multiple levels of approval, resulting in lack of timely and efficiently delivery of services. This not only hampers the progress of project but also adds to the frustration and dissatisfactions of the general public. This system has slowed down the development. This system has led to the loss of the resources and economy of the country. And this red tapeism has become a very common factor in the mind of the people, which is being gradually been dissatisfied with these public servants. In conclusion, the dance functions of public personnel in India's complex issue requiring significant reforms and system changes. The politicization of the public sector, lack of proper training and accountability, corruptions and bureaucratic red tapeism all contributes to the inefficient functioning of the government services. It is imperative for the government to address these issues and implement necessary reforms to improve the overall functioning of the public sector and regain the trust of the citizens. The public personnel system has to perform many vital tasks, human elements in the most crucial parts of any system, and it has to be adequately utilized. Various dysfunctionalities that had developed in public services over the decade are posing a lot of hurdles in the pursuit of administrative objectives. The problems like increasing gap between the administration and citizens, the immobility of public services, red tape, obsolete methods of operation, etc., have to be tackled properly. In order to evolve efficient public personnel system, a much closer interaction is called for between the public servant and citizen. That is, a familiar environment has to be created. Interactions between the people and the officials has to be established. The government policies has to be simplified and can be communicated by the civil servants to the citizens. The concept of isolation of civil servants from the public has to be done away with. That is the concept that was there in the British rule. The Britishers always wanted to keep a threat in the mind of the people, of the administrators. Here it is necessary democracy or in the post-independence period. Okay, this threat from the mind of the people has to be removed. A familiar environment has to be created. A good relationship has to be established between the civil servants and the peoples. Constant interactions between the public personnel and the government can also solve the difficulties to a great extent. A positive and cordial relationship between the ministers and public servants is also needed. If we want to have a better policy, if we want to understand the technology aspects in the policy factors, all only possible if there is a good relationship with the ministers and the public servants. According to Herman Feiner, however adequate organized the political side of the government, However wise the political philosophy, hard leadership and command, these will be of no effect without the body of officials who are expert in applying power and wisdom to the particular cases are permanently and especially employed to do so. So it is very clear that this political actions has nothing to do as far as development is concerned. It is only the officials who can contribute in the development. There is a need for citizens' participation in administrative process. Citizens should not just be a recipient of the fruits of implemented programs. They must actively participate in the formulation, implementation, and monitoring the plans. A public opinion is very important for the purpose of the democratic government. The government understands the values of the peoples, and they understand the requirement of the people. On the basis of that, they can formulate the policy. The government, they must know the demands of the people. The government must understand what the people part of the country. So the people must come forward. People must contribute in their information to the government. People must come forward for implementing the policies which is formulated by the government and cooperate with the civil servants. It is the people who has to monitor the plans, whether this plan is being implemented according to the policy of the government. The role of the volunteer agencies, planning bodies or the grassroots levels, the panchayat bodies has become very important today, as these bodies are the real bodies which can contribute in the implementing the government policies in the ground level. These bodies must aim at the optimal utilization of human resources. The maximum use of human resources only can be done with the help of these grassroots agencies. Media can also play an effective role in revolving the dysfunctions of the public personal administration. It can highlight the methods adopted by the administration in the removal of citizen grievances. It can draw the attention of the people to the difficulties faced by the citizen in their interactions with the administrative professionals and the ways or methods by which they can voice themselves. Media can highlight the role of non-governmental organizations and cooperatives in increasing people's participation in administration. So the media is the agency which can create an environment where the people can give an informations to the peoples. The media is the people which can highlight the demands of the people with their own work. It is the media which can highlight the shortcomings which is going on in the functioning of the organizations, and in the media which can take the help of the corporations, organizations and cooperative peoples in the administration. Finally, I would like to discuss the current reforms in administrative services. Recently, the Union government has given information on the major administrative reforms which are introduced in recent years and emphasize the importance of these reforms in making government more accessible. These reforms to encourage greater efficiency, transparent and corruption-free governance and accountability, and reduce the scope for discretions. The government follows the minimum government and maximum governance. There is a mission which is known as the Mission Karma Yogi. This is National Program for Civil Services Capacity Building. It is comprehensive reforms of the capacity building apparatus at individuals, institutionals, and process level for efficient public service delivery. It's aimed at building a future-ready civil services with great attitudes, skills, and knowledge aligned with the vision of New India. The capacity building will be delivered through I got Karma Yogi digital platform with content drawn from the global best practices. Next is an online monitoring system called e-Samiksha, a real-time online system for monitoring and follow-up actions on the decision taken by the government at the apex level in respect of implementation of important government programs and projects. It is a digital monitor for bureaucracy to rein in slackers. Also, the government has been taking an intensive review for weeding out inefficient and officers of dogged integrity for premature retirement. Another is the e-office. The e-office mission is mode project. E-office mission mode MMP e-office mode project has been strengthened to enable ministries and departments to switch over to the paperless office and efficient decision making. There is some reforms that is very essential and that is required. Reforms are an obvious response to all new challenges. Confrontation with the state institution managing public affairs. What lies at the root of such an exercise is the effort to enhance administrative capability in the change scenario. India's civil services, often referred as the steel frame of the nation, have played a crucial role in shaping an administrative countries since independence. However, over the years, the system has faced numerous challenges and shortcomings, leading to the need for the reform to ensure effective and efficient governance. Here are some of the key reforms that needed in the civil services in Indian administration. The first, we can say, the reforms in recruitment and training process. Recruitment process for civil services in India is a lengthy and a complex one, involving multiple stages of examination and interviews. This not only creates a burden on the candidate but also makes the process prone to the various malpractices. There is a need to streamline the recruitment process and make it more transparent and merit-based. There is a need for the streamlining the recruitment and training curriculum also, and this curriculum of the recruitment and training has to be professionalized. The civil servants with the necessary skills and knowledge should be given the chance to be the part of administration. Next, we say that addressing the issues of political interference. One major challenge civil servants faces in India is political interference. This hampers their decision-making abilities and affects their impartialities and integrity. There is a need to strengthen autonomy of the civil services and insulate them from political pressures. This can be achieved by implementing stricter laws and regulations to prevent political interference by promoting a culture of professionalism and impartiality within the civil services. Another step that can be taken is the performance-based appraisal and promotions. In the current system, promotion in civil services are primarily based on seniority rather than performance. This has led to lack of motivation and accountability among civil servants, resulting in a decline in the quality of services. There is a need to introduce performance-based appraisals and promotions, which will not only recognize and reward merit but also encourages civil servants to perform better. Another step that can be taken is known as the encouraging diversity and inclusivity. The civil servants in India lack diversity and inclusivity, with a significant underrepresentation of certain communities and marginalized groups. This goes against the principle of social justice and hinders the government's ability to understand and address the needs of all sections of the society. Reforms need to ensure diversity and inclusivity in the recruitment process and to provide equal opportunities to all candidates. Next, we can say that embracing technology and digitalizations. Digitizations is concept which is very important today. In today's digital age, the use of technology has become crucial for effective governance. However, the civil services in India are still lagging behind in the adopting technology and digitizations. Reforms are needed to modernize the functioning of the civil services by introducing e-governance and digital platforms for better services delivery, data management, and decision-making process. Next, we can say that is strengthening and accountability and transparency. There is a lack of accountability and transparency in the functioning of the civil services in India. This accountability and transparency is very important aspect which is related to the present administration. This does not erode public trust but also create opportunities for corruption and malpractices. Reforms are needed to strengthen the accountability mechanism within the civil services. through regular and transparent performance evaluation, stricter disciplinary actions, and effective grievances redressal mechanism. That is the part which is there in this system. Enhance coordinations between different departments and level of government is another issue that is to be taken up seriously. An administrative system is highly complex with multiple departments and level of government involved in decision making and service delivery. This often leads to lack of coordinations and cooperations between different departments, resulting in delay, duplication of efforts, and inefficiencies. There is a need for reform to enhance coordination and harmonization between different departments and government levels to ensure better service delivery and effective policy implementation. Since the civil servants are accountable to the political executive, which results in the politicians of the civil services, the focus must be on external accountability mechanism like citizen charter, social audit, encouraging outcome orientation, and among civil servants. Civil servants should provide unbiased, rational, and meritorious suggestions to the political executive and policy formulations. It is an important civil service, very important, which is part which is to be carried out. It requires impartial civil services board that can look after the aspects related to the promotions, transfers, posting, and suspension. In conclusion, the civil services in India need urgent reforms to modernize and strengthen their functionings. These reforms should to improve the recruitment and training process, where first step is to be taken. The process of recruitment has to be done more transparent, more accurate, and after that a proper step has to be taken for the purpose of training. A professional training institution has to be set up and professional training has to be provided. Redress the political interference. Minimum political interference should be there. If the political interference is not been there, then the civil servants feel secure in doing the duties for the welfare of the people. Promote diversity and inclusivity. And there is again very important thing is that now there is change in the world in the form of a technological aspects. So there is a need of greater use of technology. The technology can not only make the system smooth, but also a delay that is there in the various stages of the functioning in the policy formulation can be curtailed. The strength, accountability, and transparency is required among the civil servant, and enhanced coordinations between different departments. The level of the government is required for the purpose of a proper personnel system. Only then the civil service effectively fulfill their roles and still frame the nation's contribution to their development and progress can be seen. With this, thank you very much, and we complete this part of my lecture on the Indian administrative personnel system features. Thank you very much.